Thank you for staying tuned. Well, if you just tune in, the program is still Good Morning Abuja, showing on 80 Channel 5 Abuja. Now I have a guest in the studio. Together we're talking about one of the issues that affect the men health-wise, talking about the prostate glands. It is my pleasure to introduce to you a sales expert. She is a wellness entrepreneur, a continental network marketing coach, a nurse, a certified nurse, and a midwife. She goes by the name Fenitola Onaguruwa, popularly called Coach FO. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, my dear
I
sister.
forgot to tell them she stopped practicing nursing 30 years ago, before some of us were born. And then she has been a wellness coach for 24 years. Can you beat that? We need to celebrate her.
Thank
Good
you.
morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good to have you here.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about prostate glands.
Okay.
We want to narrow it to prostate cancer though, but then let's talk because I know it expands.
Yeah.
So tell us more about it.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers. This is Coach FO, your friend and sister. When I was 16, my mom had diabetes and she had heart failure. She died in my hands. And that changed the course of my life. I actually studied nursing and midwifery, but I got to know that instead of being sick, there are things we can do naturally, to help us prevent diseases. About 10 years ago, WHO also said that 75% of deaths are preventable, meaning 3 out of every 4 people that died should not have died at that particular time. So what can we do to help ourselves? The curative system, which is the hospital system, works when people are already sick. But do you know there are things we can do every day to slow down the aging process and avoid sickness? And that's what we want to talk about, especially to the men. Why am I interested in the men? Honestly, every woman remains a mother.
Absolutely.
We continue to nurture our husbands. In fact, I tell women, I said, if you don't see your husband as your firstborn, don't marry him. So even when we're doing health talk for men, it's their wives that come and they'll say, let me register for my husband. We still care for them and we want them to be around for a long time. Sir, we don't want you to work so hard and then you're not around to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Honestly, the prostate gland, there are 2, and they surround the urethra. Now, the male reproductive organ that we call the penis, at the top of it has 2 glands. And with the 2 glands, these glands are called the prostate glands. They surround the urethra. They do a lot of work. They're like God's plumbing system. So they're useful in the urinary system, and then they're useful for the reproductive system. So the gland, if you understand the anatomy of it, it will surprise you. The sperms are produced inside the prostate gland. Wow. So it has a duct. So it surrounds the urethra. So if a man is having sex with a woman, the discharge of sperm passes through that. So at that point, the sphincter that controls the urethra coming from the bladder closes so that sperm can pass. That's why there's no mixture of the 2. It's the work of the prostate gland. So if urine is coming, it shuts off the sperm, the semen carrying the sperm coming. That's why the 2, even though they pass through the same tube, will not come out at the same time. That's how important the prostate gland is. But when a man clocks 40, but these days it's happening earlier because of the lifestyle that we're living. But before now, once a man clocks 40, he must begin to watch out for the prostate gland. It naturally begins to enlarge. 3 things can go wrong with the prostate gland. 1 is what we call the prostatitis. That's just the infection of the prostate gland. With antibiotics and all of that, that can be sorted out.
Okay, so but does it show physically in somebody's body for you to know
There will be an enlargement.
Okay.
So when the person goes to the hospital, the doctor will do the examination,
Okay.
and then there are tests to be done,
Okay.
and there will be a proper diagnosis. So with that, there will be treatments with antibiotics.
Okay.
Secondly, there's what we call the BPH, the benign prostate hypertrophy. That's the real enlargement, but the cells are not cancerous
Okay.
for that. So in the hospital, the surgeon will still do a diagnosis, and a lot of times there will be surgery.
Okay.
So with surgery, it will be removed or reduced.
Okay.
Because when it enlarges, it compresses the urethra, making it painful for urine to come out. So if you have come across elderly men mostly that are carrying what we call catheter, that's the rubber,
Yes.
is to help them because it becomes very painful. Sometimes it can be bloody. Yeah. So they have to pass catheter to relieve them. The bladder is full.
But all this is preventable.
All of these are preventable. All of these are preventable. And the third and the worst one is when the cells become cancerous, which we call the prostate cancer. Now, with prostate cancer, the diagnosis will still be done in the hospital. A lot of cases, there has to be surgery, and sometimes there can be radiotherapy. But the first thing is, how observant are you as a man to notice? You must begin to notice any little changes in the body. And so, what are those things we can do to prevent? Sir, the number one thing is from your mind. You have to take a decision to live a healthy life. I love to ask a very good question. At 60, will you be a liability or an asset?
Wow.
If you're going to be an asset, then you must be wealthy, but you must first be healthy. So your health, be intentional. Number one, there are adjustments. In the morning, there's elimination. The body wants to get rid of waste from about 4 a.m. till about 12. Please endeavor to avoid eating cooked food in that window. Just drink lots of water, help your body to eliminate waste. Secondly, exercise. If it is only walk, brisk walk, please do 30 minutes a day. There are specific exercises that helps the pelvic floor muscle. The pelvic floor muscle affects the prostate gland. So please exercise. Don't say you are too busy. Don't wait until you are forced to do it. Make it part of your lifestyle. Even if it's 3 times a week, you must exercise. Brisk walk where you sweat. Because when you sweat, you're getting rid of toxin. Every disease is due to the accumulation of toxins in the system. So the large intestine is the culprit. That's the long tube.
Yeah.
You've seen where they kill a ram and they are washing the intestine, pressing it through. So our own is double of that of the ram. So if you can ensure that your gut is clean, it's one tube from the mouth to the anus. If that gut is clean, then we're good. What can you eat? In the morning, for men, please take tomato juices. Naturally, tomato contains a very powerful antioxidant called lycopene. So, daddy, just take tomato juice in the morning, and you can also slice fresh red tomato on your food, on your beans, on your rice. Eat it raw. Cooked tomato becomes acidic, so they are not very safe. Tomato is a fruit, it's not a vegetable.
Yes, it is a fruit.
It's a misunderstanding. If you cannot boil orange, you cannot boil tomato. So please tell mommy to stop adding tomato to the pepper sauce. We'll talk more about diet some other time. So please take lots of tomato. It gives your body nutrients to fight with. 2, your meal in the afternoon. I will suggest that you stop eating cow meat, goat meat, pork, anything that will not digest on time. Slows down the aging, the digestive process. It's not too safe for us because you'll be retaining toxins in the same gut that we're talking about. So what are the things you can eat easily? Local rice, plantain flour, beans, moi moi, all those things that will easily digest. Fresh fish with scale, you can boil or make it into pepper soup. You can do local chicken. You can do guinea fowl. You can do snail, you can do bushmeat. All of those ones are organic.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for enlightening us. I have learned a lot, trust me.
Thank
And
you.
I'm sure our viewers out there, especially the men and even mommies. This interview is not only for the men, no. Mommies, we can actually have our daddies because some of them, I don't know, there's just this thing about the men. Maybe they're like an I don't care attitude.
They care for everybody except themselves.
Thank you. She has rounded it up. Thank you so much.